Hi YouTube, it's me, Kelly here. Excuse my tree in the background. That's not how it's actually gonna look. We decorated it, and my 2-year-old daughter, of course, has pretty much taken off all the ornaments that she could reach. So, excuse my poor looking tree in the background. So today I am 32 weeks, and I'm here with another update. I feel like I should skip back a little bit. So yeah, I am 32 weeks today. I think the last video I did, I was about 28 weeks or so, and I'm sorry it's been a while since I made a video. I was wanting to do them every week, like I say in my videos, but these past couple weeks have been pretty crazy. It's just been so crazy. It's been so crazy this year. I don't know, so many things have gone on. So I think I was going on 29 weeks in my last video, or going on 30 weeks. I can't exactly remember, but I'm 32 weeks today, so 8 months, and I'm just gonna do this video really quick. It's really impromptu. I don't have any makeup on. My hair looks crazy. I'm just cleaning up and meal planning, and I decided, hey, my kids are taking a nap, so I might as well do a quick video. So yeah, not much has really happened these past few weeks. I went to, I had a echocardiogram. It was probably going to be the last one I have this pregnancy, because the next one I have is scheduled on the 23rd, and I don't think I'll still be pregnant, to be quite honest. This baby is measuring 2 weeks, a little over 2 weeks ahead. In my last ultrasound, I have another one tomorrow. And my daughter was measuring 2 weeks ahead as well, or maybe even a little more than 2 weeks ahead, and she came 2 weeks early. So I'm thinking that this baby's probably going to come around early mid-January, if not sooner, and I'll explain why in just a minute. But so yeah, I had an echocardiogram, and I had a follow-up appointment with my cardiologist, and so far things have pretty much stayed the same. The last one I had before that was about a month before that, and so my heart's in pretty good condition, and she just expressed that, as long as things continue to go well, that she's okay with me delivering vaginally, because that was just kind of a concern with just how my heart would do and different things like that. So lots of things going into delivery, but I don't want to talk too much about that. I'm just leaving it in God's hands, and we'll just see how everything works out. But so yeah, she had mentioned that everything looked good, and so I met with her after I got discharged from the hospital. I actually went to the hospital, and I was admitted last Sunday, so a week and a day ago. We had went out to eat, and I slipped and fell on some ice, and I literally like landed flat on my back, and I got up, and I was like kind of laughing because I was a little shocked, and then I started crying, and my husband was like, okay. But yeah, I started crying just because I was like, my arms had really hurt, because I kind of like used my elbows to kind of support me a little bit, and then I started to worry. I'm like, okay, the first thing I thought about with the fall was just like my placenta possibly detaching or something like that, or damage being done to the placenta, and because it was a pretty hard fall, and also because I mean, I don't know if it really makes a difference, but my placenta is like at the back of my uterus. So yeah, I called the nurse line, and they had told me that their normal protocol is that if you fall, you come in and they monitor you for 4 hours to make sure you're not contracting, make sure everything's okay, and so yeah. And when I got off the phone with the nurse and we were on our way to the hospital, I had a contraction. And I remember when we got up to labor and delivery, I had another one. And so the contractions continued for about, they continued, and they were about every 15 minutes. I don't believe I was contracting prior to that. It's really hard to say. At least if I was, they're probably like really light contractions that I wasn't feeling. So I'm thinking it was probably the fall that brought it on. Although while we were out eating, I was having like really bad back pain before we left the restaurant. So so yeah, I went in, I had 2 contractions. They got me on the monitor, and I was still having contractions. They're coming every 15 minutes. So I just stayed on the monitor, and they did some tests. They drew blood to see if there was like if the placenta had detached, or if the baby's blood was mixing with my blood. And then they also, what else did they do? Yeah, so pretty much that was all they did initially. And then after I was getting close to 4 hours, or maybe after 4 hours or so, and I was still contracting. The contractions were actually getting closer and getting stronger, and I was trying different things. They had me drinking a bunch of fluid, so I was drinking a bunch of water, a bunch of juice, and changing positions, going to the bathroom, make sure my bladder wasn't full and things like that. And the contractions kept coming, and they were getting stronger and they were getting closer. So they were like 10 minutes apart, and then they were like 8 minutes apart, 7 minutes apart. Just contracting. I pretty much contracted the whole night. So after a while, pretty much later into the night, I believe, or so, as the nurses and doctors noticed that my contractions were getting longer, closer together and stronger, they gave me the beta something shot. I can't remember the name, but it's just a shot that they give to help prepare the baby's lungs if the baby was to be early, because at this point I was like just turning 31 weeks that night, because it was Sunday night. So they gave me that shot, and the shot's normally given in 2 doses. So you get the first shot, and then 24 hours later I did get the second shot. So they gave me that, and they were just continuing to try different methods to get me to the contractions to stop. They put me on an IV fluid to also help, because like I mentioned, dehydration, well, I think I mentioned that, but if not, dehydration can sometimes cause you to have contractions as well. So then they also put me on a heparin drip, because since I had my stroke in July, I've been on Lovenox, and they wanted me to have that protection, that blood thinner, but they also wanted me to be on something that they could reverse if they needed to, like if I needed to have an immediate C-section or whatever the case may be. And also heparin does not last as long as Lovenox, so I think after like 6 hours it's out of your system or so. So just in case, they had me on that just so we could kind of transition out of it quickly if needed. They also have a medication where they can reverse the symptoms or the effect of heparin. So yeah, I was on heparin drip, and I was on IV fluids, and they had given me a shot Sunday night, and then they kept me overnight, and I continued to have contractions all night long. I really did not sleep, to be quite honest. I couldn't. I took like a couple little cat naps, maybe like 10-15 minutes here and there. And so yeah, when it got close to 7 a.m. And they were also drawing my blood throughout this time too, because when you're on heparin, you have to get your 10A levels and everything like that. So when it got close to 7 a.m., I think the doctors came in and we talked, and they checked me, and my contractions at this time were still about like 5 to 7 minutes apart. So they're pretty close, and I think they checked me at 7 a.m. I was not dilated, so they weren't too worried, which was good. But I was still having the contractions, so and we had tried so many different things. They decided to give me magnesium. The main reason they gave it was to help prepare the baby's brain. This is what the nurses told me. I've never heard about this before, but I guess magnesium helps the brain development, or helps protect the baby's brain if a baby is born preterm, to help prevent brain hemorrhage, and things of that sort. So, sorry, I'm talking a lot. So yeah, they gave me the magnesium around 7 a.m. Excuse me, my mouth's getting dry. And my contractions from then on were crazy. They were literally like 3 minutes apart, or 3 to 5 minutes apart. And these were very, very strong contractions. Really strong contractions from about 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. it was not fun at all. And so I ended up taking a nap around 10 a.m., like a 20-minute nap. It was so weird. And my contractions just started slowing down. Oh yeah, magnesium can also slow your contractions too, so that's part of the reason why they gave it to me as well. So after 3 hours of really intense contractions, they started to slow down. So I had a total of 16 hours of contracting from 6 p.m. on Sunday to 10 a.m. on Monday. Um, so yeah, and so they started to slow down, and they got to be about like two every hour, one every hour or so. And they were still kind of strong, but they weren't as bad. So they finally let me eat. It was hard. Any pregnant woman will will agree that it is not easy to not eat for, well, we had just left it was a Mexican buffet. It was really good, but still, I was hungry already by like Sunday night, like a couple hours after we got to the hospital. And they would not let me eat anything. So I finally got to eat. I ordered lunch around 12 or 1 on Monday, and the docs decided to keep me there because I was still having the contractions, but they weren't as intense. And they didn't know if, like, initially in the morning at 7, they were talking about possibly having to perform a C-section that night if my contractions continued and I started to dilate and things like that, because at 7 a.m. they were still coming in, they were coming closer together and stronger, and they did an ultrasound sometime, can't exactly remember exactly when, but they found out the baby was breech. So they had me stay until Tuesday morning, just to make sure that the contractions slowed and I wasn't dilating and things like that. They didn't check me again though, but like I had mentioned, the contractions slowed and things like that. So yeah, so then I just stayed in hospital Monday. I got my second dose. Oh, also, they kept me to get the second dose of the beta something something injection for the baby's lungs. And I'm trying to think if I'm missing anything or not. I think that's pretty much it. So yeah, they had me stayed in hospital, and they had stopped the heparin for a while during the day on Monday, but then they restarted it. And then before I left on Tuesday morning, I left the hospital around 11 or so. They took me off the heparin and transitioned me back onto my Lovenox, and my dad came to visit me. So yeah, it was pretty interesting, pretty crazy. I really thought the baby was gonna come, and I was worried because 31 weeks is still pretty early. I know babies born at that time do pretty well, but still pretty early, and so I was still a little worried. But thank God everything was good. And so since then, this past week, I have had contractions off and on, but they've been really irregular. So yeah, we're just waiting to see. I told my husband when we left the hospital, I'm like, I need to pack my hospital bag, and I still haven't. So that's one big thing I'm still trying to do: pack my hospital bag, and also get the baby's clothes put into the dresser, like put away, everything set up. The crib we have is, and we're just using my daughter's crib since she has a toddler bed now. So it's set up. It's just like one side needs to be put on the other side, because it was my daughter's bed before she got a toddler bed, so we were using it as a toddler bed. And so we just have to put the other side up and get the crib mattress, and excuse me, sorry. So yeah, that is pretty much it. This week, this past week is when I went back to my cardiologist and spoke with her. And so then tomorrow I have a appointment. Excuse me. OB appointment, and they're gonna do an ultrasound, growth ultrasound. So they're doing those every 3 weeks. So I have a growth ultrasound tomorrow, and then I'll meet with my OB, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I have to also make an appointment with my hematologist to just go over the plan for how to regulate my medication during labor and delivery. So I was supposed to go see him last Monday, but since I'm in the hospital, I didn't. And that's pretty much it. So I know it's a lot of talking. And yeah, so yeah. Sorry, guys. My brain is a mush. I'm literally like preparing dinner. I have chicken cooking on the stove, boiling some chicken. And I was like meal planning, and I just cleaned my living room. And upstairs is a big mess because we just recently moved. Well, it's not too bad. Our room is really just a mess because I have to put away a bunch of clothes, a bunch of laundry that I did. So it's like my brain is just like fried. And then I realized yesterday that I forgot my phone at church. So it's like so many different things going on in this head of mine. But yeah, I will probably make another video. I'm thinking about doing one of the tag videos, even though I haven't been tagged, but just something fun to do until before my next video. So maybe I'll do that on my birthday because my birthday's this Saturday. So yeah, I'll probably make another update video next Tuesday after my appointment instead of doing it on a Monday, so then I'll have more to update on the baby and things like that. So I'll show you my belly, and I am going to end this video. Alrighty, people. I'm gonna stand up here. And so look at my shirt. Sorry, my belly's already hanging out. I have maternity pants on. So yeah, this is my belly at 32 weeks pregnant today. Baby's measuring a little over 34 weeks. We'll see what they say tomorrow. Last ultrasound, which was about 3 weeks ago, they said that she's measuring at about 4 pounds. So we'll see. I wouldn't be surprised if she say she's about 5 pounds now, if not more. So you get to see my lovely stretch marks. My belly's been really itchy lately. I've been using coconut oil to help with the itchiness. And I realized I got like a bruise here. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's a little awkward. That's where it was really itchy the most. So now I have like a bruise there. And I do bruise pretty easily with being on the Lovenox, the blood thinners. My belly button always pokes out, and I have like a little, I can't remember what that's called, but I call it a chocolate chip, but that's not the actual term for it. So yeah, here's my belly. She usually is very active in the evening and at night. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Until next time, YouTube.